Welcome back to my vlog in which I take you through how I'm training to return to the ring. Today I am working on my tactics. You've seen me work a couple of tactics already in this series. A tactic helps you to win an exchange. So a strategy might be across a whole fight or even across a whole tournament, and a technique is a single punch, kick, step, etc. If you watch my last video in which I break down my sparring, you'll have seen me struggle with attacking and defending on the centre line. So I'm out here today to come up with a couple of solutions. First one, if I'm more mobile and I've got pretty good footwork even with my ankle recovery, I can play this game off to each side and pick up small points. I was doing this quite successfully in my sparring on Monday night, but it's not enough. I need to add in the spins and the high kicks. I should maybe do that, and that's a confidence issue, perhaps a work rate issue. I'm going to do some cardio training later, maybe that'll sort that out. But this is one way of doing things. Constantly being mobile, so it's less necessary to defend the axis. Second way, and this just came to me, and this is why I wanted to come outside today and train it. Second way would be to behave like that in my left lead, but when I do want to attack more, bring in my right leg. So I can hop in with my right chassis. That's my injured ankle, but in the air I think it's a bit more reliable than on the floor. So I can still do my high kicks, my spins, my multiple kicks, which is where you get a lot of points in Savate, off the right leg. I just need to spot the opportunity. So here's a tactic. Now last year I tried to fight right lead entirely as my tactics, and that didn't work for me because all the geometry is wrong, the step goes the wrong direction and my opponent doesn't line up. But I'm going to try this, I think. Left lead to find the opportunity, to find the space to make the play. Right leg to execute when I need some firepower. Taking Mike Tyson at his word that everyone has a game plan until they're punched in the face, here's a way of stress testing your tactics. 15 seconds burpees, then tactic 1. The burpees put my body out of position, increase my breathing and my heart rate. So I've got to remember and get back to my tactic under those stress conditions. Then you go back to the burpees and tactic 2. It's a way of keeping your game plans in your head and recalling them under different stress conditions that somewhat resemble the fight. This is often how I bed down my tactics before I go to a fight. I'm using it again here. Let's see later in the sparring if it works. I don't really subscribe to there being a mind-body distinction, but here I am training both together in order to bring them out when I fight. That's what my training sets out to accomplish. Okay, that was my tactical training done. Join me later for some high-intensity interval training. It's evening, and that brings 9 rounds of high-intensity interval training. I started with 3 rounds skipping. I tend to do it variable speed, and often I'll imagine the progress of the fight while I'm doing it, so I can associate the high work rate with what I want to do at those moments. It's just another way you put mind and body together as you train. I'm a little concerned that I haven't done any long runs in this training camp, because I didn't have time to. I've moved straight onto the round length fitness like what I'm doing here, so training 2 things at once like this is helping me to catch up. After my 3 rounds of skipping, I was going to do 6 rounds intervals. Chose 5 exercises. 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. Exercise 1, tuck jumps. 2, climbing a mountain. 3, split lunges. 4, bicycle crunches. And 5, jumping squats. And I do my minute rest in plank the moment the round is finished, because I quite like having to catch my breath when my diaphragm has got the tension of the abdominal muscles over it, which is exactly the feeling you get when you fight. I was going to do 6 rounds like this, but you can see from my heart rate monitor that by the 3rd round of interval training, my heart rate is spiking, and that's probably why I decided to lower the intensity. I switched to interval skips for the final 3. That way I could continue my workout. It can be a good idea if you bite off more than you can chew to switch to a lower intensity exercise. That way you continue your workout without overloading your muscles or causing yourself to be too stiff to continue the next day's work. After I did this, I went indoors to do some side plank and some glute exercises to finish off the workout. I'm walking to the Savate class that I teach. It's quite close to this bridge, and I'm picturing in my mind how I want the sparring to go. The two tactics I trained earlier, see if I can get them to work.